Hello everyone and welcome back to Yerkin English. Today we are going to be covering the C1 level course and the topic is nominalization. So what is nominalization? Nominalization is a type of word formation in which a verb, adjective, or a common noun is transformed into a noun. Generally, it becomes an abstract noun. For example, guide, which is a verb, transforms into guidance, which is an abstract noun. Smart, which is an adjective, transforms into smartness, which is an abstract noun. And child, which is a common noun, turns into childhood, which is also an abstract noun. So perhaps, I'm not sure if you know what common nouns and abstract nouns are. We are going to cover that again. So, common nouns are words that refer to unidentified or generic people, places, or things. For example, house, country, child. Common noun can refer to anything. It's a broad term. For example, child. Child could be anyone's child. It could be any age of a child. It can be. It's a broad term. And then we have verbs. I'm sure you know what verbs are, but we can cover it again. And verbs are words used to describe an action, state, or occurrence, and forming the base of a sentence, such as hear, become, or happen. So verbs identify movement, direction, and action. Then adjectives. Adjectives are also a very important part of nominalization, so we're going to cover it again. And they are words naming an attribute of a noun, such as sweet, red, or technical. Then we have abstract nouns, which I'm not sure you know of. And they are intangible ideas that can't be perceived with the five senses, such as social concepts, political theories, and character traits. For example, love or freedom. So, abstract nouns, you can't feel it with any of your five senses, which are sound, sight, touch, taste, smell. You can't feel abstract nouns through any of those senses, such as love. You can't feel love through touch, taste, or anything else. You can't feel freedom with anything else. It's more abstract. How do we form nouns out of verbs? So nouns are usually formed by adding a suffix to a verb. Here, I have 4 different suffixes which we can use to form a noun out of a verb. There's the site right here on the bottom where I gathered all of this information and all of these tables. There are several more nouns and several more suffixes which are used for transformation, but I've just added several of them, which include occasion, Asian, meant, and So for occasion, let's take, for example, the verb justify. To form justify into a noun, you can add occasion and it will become justification, which is now a noun. Or we can also use the example of glorify. We can add occasion and it will become glorification, which is a noun. So that is basically the premise of nominalization. But we also have several other suffixes, such as ation. We can take the example verb of adapt and add ation and it will become adaptation. Then we also have another suffix, which is meant. So then we have formation of nouns from adjectives. It's basically the same premise where you take a suffix and add it to an adjective, which transforms it into a noun. So here I have 4 different suffixes for you. The first one is ness. So if we take the adjective happy and add ness, then it will become happiness, which is now a noun. And then we also have another suffix, which is rye, whatever you want to call it. We can take the adjective brave, add re, and it will become bravery, which is now a noun. Then the third one is the or the, and we can take the adjective deep and transform it into the noun depth. Then we have itty. We can take the adjective able and make it ability. I think you'll have to memorize all of these suffixes because different adjectives and different verbs, different common nouns, they use different suffixes to transform them into nouns. And for example, you can't really use the same suffixes for each word. You can't take the adjective brave and then add a random suffix, for example, the, and make it brave, because that isn't the proper noun form of the word brave. So I'd advise you to memorize most of these suffixes. You can go to this link and you can check out more of the suffixes and more of the formations and more of the examples. So the next one, we have formation of nouns from common nouns. So we can form abstract nouns from common nouns by adding hood. For example, child, which is a common noun, becomes an abstract noun, which is childhood. Then we have another suffix, which is ship. We can take friend, which is a common noun, and make it an abstract noun by adding friendship. We can also add re, such as similar to the suffix that we use for the adjectives form. We can take the word dentist and make it an abstract noun by adding dentistry, by adding ry, which makes it dentistry. And here we have a couple examples of using nominalization in a sentence. So a sentence without nominalization would sound like he failed, which angered his parents. A sentence with nominalization would sound like his failure caused his parents anger. That's one example where we transformed the word failed, which is a verb, into a noun, which is failure, and angered, which is also a verb, into a noun, which is anger. And then we have another example, which is the police investigated but uncovered no evidence. I have a couple more examples, but you can check them out on your own. And they basically have the same meaning, where the verbs or the adjectives or the common nouns transform into abstract nouns, which is nominalization in general. So thank you for learning with us, and I hope I can see you on the next one. Goodbye.